Living with a capybara is quite a challenge on its own, especially so when your capybara is as active as this charming mister.
Oh my God, Steve!
There's never a dull moment when Steve is in the house.
Got a little roll. Got a little roll.
Which means Steve is always being chased around the garden.
Are you proud of yourself for making a mess?
Steve has got 8 ferret siblings who he adores.
Here, go that way, buddy.
He's also got 8 cats that love to make biscuits on him. But since Steve is the only capybara, the closest friend he's got to his own size is a potbelly pig. And Steve is convinced that she is his girlfriend. But when Steve first came to his new home, he was petrified because of what he'd been through.
What we have, what Steve chooses.
Steve was only a few months old when Shannon first met him at the vet's office. He was abandoned after living in a dog kennel in a zoo. Shannon would visit him often, trying to befriend him and earn his trust. Until one day, the vet messaged her and asked if she could take care of him. And it was the easiest decision they could ever make. When Steve first arrived home, he did not want to come inside. It took 3 whole hours to convince him that it was safe. But just by listening to him and giving him space, Steve quickly became part of the family and settled right in like he had been here his whole life. However, what came next we never could have expected.
Look at this nice fresh water. It'd be a shame if somebody were to spill it.
Steve's family decided to let him explore outside to meet the other animals, but he barely showed any interest. However, when he first met the potbelly pig, he could not believe his eyes. He was so full of energy and completely rambunctious with her. She loved watching him let his zoomies out. And then when it's nap time, Steve would take up the whole couch just so he can have his daily nap.
He is, he's dreaming.
I wonder what Capybara's dreaming about.
He knew that he was the king, and he had finally found his queen. Even though Steve is the only capybara, he's found his pack. From his queen pig to the cats, the ferrets, and even the ducks, he's surrounded by friends. Every day with him is full of laughter, joy, and little surprises. And Shannon always wonders if there are other capybaras out there who live like Steve does. Well, yes. Meet Cappy, a capybara who discovered that humans can be part of the herd too. It might be hard to believe this, but this man's best friend is a wild capybara. And every single day she waits for him to come and give her scratches.
Essa aqui é a camaradinha capivara. Menina.
Luciano has been visiting Capi for years and years now. And they have developed an incredible bond that most humans would be jealous of. Capi lets him handle her babies, and he treats them as if he was their personal nanny. She always begs him to give her back scratches before it's swim time. And he's been lovingly calling her my buddy every single day since they've met. Before Capi came along, Luciano had never even tried to interact with a capybara. He lives close to a park where a herd of capybaras live and run free. and he would only see them during his morning runs, always from a distance. Then one day, a heavy rain started, and he stopped to watch the animals. That's when one capybara decided to take shelter from the rain under his umbrella. And from that moment, she decided she would never, ever leave his side.
Olha a mamãe capivara aqui com seus filhotinhos na sombra.
The very next day, when Luciano went back to the park, Capi recognized him right away. She even ran up to him just to say hello, and Luciano's jaw almost hit the ground. From that moment, every visit turned into a small adventure. But what happened next was so wild that it completely changed everything. One morning, Luciano came to the park to visit Capi, as usual. Only this time, she was surrounded by her mini Cappies. They swarmed around her, making sure they all felt safe and secure. But Luciano hesitated to approach them because he didn't want to frighten her babies. However, Capi gave Luciano the signal that he was safe to go and pet them. Often, people's dogs would run and scare them away, so the babies would often run off and get lost. And this is where Luciano really became the hero of the story. He would pick up the runaways and bring them back to Capi. So with their new hero always around, the babies began to grow faster and faster. And now, Luciano has 4 giant capybara best friends who wait for his company every day. Whenever he runs through the park, they are always there. They graze in the grass, quietly waiting for his gentle pets and scratches. It feels like Luciano has become a member of their herd. Not all capybaras trust people. However, this group reminds us that the world still has room for unexpected bonds. And moments like these show just how much kindness can shape the world around us. Whether it's a tiny capybara ruling a pond, or a wild one bonding with a human, love knows no bounds. Animals have a way of showing us how magical everyday moments can be. And stories like these remind us that connection is one of life's greatest gifts.
If you are rescuing or thinking of adopting an exotic animal, please make sure to contact professionals and do your research so that they can have the best life possible.